Hey guys, so as I was telling you, I have my good friend Ashley
Hi.
on today. She is my special guest, and we are still going to be talking about the trying to conceive journey.
Hi, I'm Ashley. That's
Oh.
pretty much it.
All right, I love your intro. All right, so
I
what you're
mean,
going to
yeah,
do,
I'm how far along am I now?
yeah, how far along are you now?
I'm almost 8 months pregnant.
Yes, girl.
Almost.
I love it. I
Yes.
love it. All right, so we're going to jump into these questions. I got a couple questions for you, and I'm sure all of the viewers are going to want to know your answers because you are going to know better than anyone right now. So, what is the story of how you met Andre, the hubby?
Andre and I initially met in high school.
Mm-hmm.
On prom night, we were introduced by a couple of friends.
Yeah.
And then we didn't speak for a few years because we weren't friends. We just were introduced to each other.
Right.
And when we talked a couple years later, I had a boyfriend, so of course he disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And then we reconnected again almost 7 years ago. It'll be 7 years in June, when a friend of ours posted about how they were just feeling like really down. They're in the Navy, and they were just kind of reaching out for kind of just needing some good vibes.
Yeah.
And I had commented on it, and Andre commented right after. I'm like, he looks really familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent him a friend request, and we've been talking every day since then.
Wow.
We've pretty much been inseparable.
Mm-hmm.
And that was at the end of June. So it's funny that our girl is due at the end of June. Spiritually, I tell him all the time, and he looks at me like I'm a nut. But about a month before then, like I didn't have really a relationship with God before I had my daughter, Ember. And I didn't really have a relationship. She was super young, and I reached out just to God because it was what I needed.
Yeah.
And maybe a month before him and I reconnected, this random cable guy was at the house. I don't know what we're doing. Something was wrong. Something's always wrong with the cable.
That part.
Like, come on. And he came, and he was over fixing the cable, and I'm normally a very private person about my personal life.
Yeah.
And at the time, me and my mom were living together, and it was just pictures of, my mom, pictures of me, of Ember, and you couldn't tell that we lived there other than there's pictures, but what mother doesn't have pictures of their children and
that part.
grandchildren? And he randomly just said, like, in a month, you're gonna find a God-fearing man, and that's gonna be your husband.
Stop. That is amazing.
And it makes me teary-eyed every time I say it, because exactly 30 days later, Andre popped out of nowhere. And I never in my life met anybody more God-fearing than Andre.
That I will have to agree with.
Yeah.
You guys are like perfect for each other.
Hot messes all together.
And that's why you guys work though. How long have you and Andre been together, dating and married?
We have been dating we started dating in October 7 years ago, and we got married in October 5 years ago.
Okay.
So our anniversary is only a day apart from each other.
Yeah.
But it'll be 5 years that we've been married on the 3rd of October.
That is craziness that it's been that long already.
Yeah. And we always say, like, marriage is dope. Like, we have no, issue. Every married couple has their own things here and there, but we're really open about what we need from each other, whether it's communication. It really doesn't matter what it is. We are very open about, I'd rather you tell me, even if it's going to hurt.
Yep.
We're going to talk about it.
Right.
Because if you don't talk about it, that's when you just give the enemy room to have energy in your relationship.
Exactly. And without communication, how are they supposed to know? Can't read minds,
exactly.
Even though I feel like all men should be able to read our minds. But it's whatever.
You ain't figured it out by now?
How long have you been trying to get pregnant? And this is currently with your pregnancy now.
We had been trying to get pregnant for 4.5 years.
Wow.
Before we found out about this one, and we just didn't know. Again, like, I have a daughter from previously, and you never think that you're going to have an issue.
Yeah.
You just never think it's going to be. Yeah, we were trying for 4.5 years before we conceived, and when we did, we're like, I refused to believe it until I had like 3 pregnancy tests staring at me.
Yeah. And they all say positive, blaring positives.
Yeah.
Now, what type of infertility did you have to deal with?
I have PCOS, which is polyovarian cystic syndrome.
Okay.
And it's a disease that affects, it doesn't really matter if you are slender, if you are overweight, it doesn't matter.
It's not discriminating.
It has several symptoms that it ranges. There can be so many women and each of you cannot have the same symptom.
Right.
So for me, I have 4 different symptoms and one of them happened to be infertility. So it just made it very difficult for me to be able to conceive. Mm-hmm. It also adds on weight to me. Okay. I've always been a plus size woman, but just like in the past 2 years, it's increased, and it's because of that.
Right.
So it affect my even though my menstrual was normal, mm-hmm. it still affected how I was able to even conceive in any way. So even though it would look normal, my body and my hormones might not have been on the same level.
Right.
I never heard about it before. Before I started researching and figuring out, okay, basically like, hello, Dr. Google.
Right.
Which is terrible.
But it's the truth.
I will tell you about to die tomorrow.
It's the truth. And you believe every word too.
I wasn't getting any answers from my doctors, and they just weren't helpful. And even after they diagnosed me, they still weren't helpful.
Wow. How old were you when you had your first child, little Ember?
Ember will be 9 this year.
Insane.
How old was I? It was right before I turned 23 because her birthday's in October, mine's in November.
Yeah. All right. So what are some of the differences with both pregnancies or similarities?
I would say what I found really strange is that one thing that I could not smell even the whiff of it, smelling it, when I was pregnant with her, sent me straight to running to the bathroom, was onions.
Really?
And I love onions. I will give me all the onions. Don't be stingy.
UNT.
But if I smell them, I worked in an office as a receptionist at the time, so there was always sandwiches, there's always salads, and smelling onions. And this time around, the smell of onions is like, please.
No, that's
away from me. It was terrible. For her, it was so long ago that a lot of the things I really don't remember, but I do remember I was extremely fatigued.
Really?
In the very beginning of the pregnancy, even throughout my second trimester. But this time around, I mean, some days I don't even know that I fell asleep. I think you and I were trying to talk the other day, and I was passed out for like a good 5 hours. I had no idea.
Wow.
And just even standing up to cook something or bake something, and I love to bake. Mm-hmm. Just standing at the stove is just not doing anything. Standing, not moving is exhausting.
That's crazy.
So, but I mean, just like with everybody else, I mean, like, my hair is amazing. My skin feels good.
Your skin, honey.
Those perks, they are great, but a lot of them, because it was 9 years ago, I mean, she's almost 9.
Yeah.
So a lot of it feels brand new.
Right.
And when I was pregnant with her, I was let go of my job when I was 5 months pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And I was in a really, really toxic relationship and had a lot of toxic people around me.
Right.
And I don't have those people around me anymore, thank God.
Yeah.
And I have a huge support system, and not just like people where it's like, hey, do you need anything? Because that's what is a polite thing to say,
right.
But people that actually mean it when they say it and are completely there. So it just feels like the first time all over again.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then to have such a big age gap, that has to feel like.
Yeah. She's like a little midwife. She's all over me, where it's like, can you please back up off me?
So besides infertility, what are other struggles that you face getting pregnant? Or
myself.
Yeah.
Was a big issue. I mean, because I have PCOS, it directly affects my weight.
Okay.
And although plus size women all over the world get pregnant all the time, but the heavier you are, the harder it is for you to get pregnant. Just like if you are super underweight,
right,
and it's unhealthy for you, it can be just as difficult for you to get pregnant.
Right.
But because of that, it's like I would lose 1 pound and gain 2.
Okay.
So it continuously kept weight on me, and it made it really difficult for me to lose weight. And not only that, but I was always doubting. I was always checking, constantly looking at it. And I wasn't believing. And it made it really, really difficult, especially after trying for the first year passes. And,
right.
You know, the first year, everyone tells you at least like by 6 months to a year, you should be pregnant.
Yeah.
And second year passed and the third year passed. And by then it was just kind of like, just like a love-hate relationship with myself.
Right.
It constantly, and I think I beat myself up more than loving myself. So it was really, really difficult to be able to do anything. And because I was upset and stressing about it, I'm either not eating or I'm eating too much. So I'm working against myself and still not losing weight.
Yeah.
And it was just a struggle. And unfortunately, I will say, like, my doctors were not helpful. Like, my OB practice was not helpful to me at all.
Wow.
I even asked them for guidance. The only guidance they gave me was lose weight, look into lap band. Thanks.
Wow.
Are you going to hand over $20,000?
Right. Because
my insurance don't pay for it.
Come on now.
So
wow.
It was a constant struggle of trying to find somebody that would help me get the answers. And then at that point I was done looking, and done at least searching for people to help me.
Right.
And doing it myself.
Yeah.
And we just really didn't look. We thought about looking into other areas of fertility, IVF, and there's so many options other than IVF that I found, that I learned that I'm like, I don't even know what that acronym stands for.
It's so many acronyms.
Like why? Like, dumb it down. Stop it. We were really firm on if we had to go there, we would try.
Okay.
Because, as you know, it's incredibly expensive.
Yes.
Even just to go get a test done. Even to see the doctor.
Right.
Consultation.
Right.
So it was all of it was really just a struggle. It was all just up and downhill constantly.
Right. Has your relationship with your husband changed since being pregnant?
I don't know if changed is the right word, but it gave me a different understanding.
Okay.
Even leading up to the pregnancy, his faith never wavered, where mine was a hot, trashy mess. And not that I didn't believe God, but you know, you're human. You're still a flesh, and you doubt everything, especially when you get a word and then nothing happens.
Right.
Look, God, look.
Hey,
Jesus, I know that you said that it's on your time, but look, it's skin 15 and ain't nothing happening yet, player. You know.
Seriously, this is real life.
It gave me an appreciation for him that I didn't have before.
Okay.
Because right now, with getting pregnant, with mood swings that come along with it, with I already have anxiety anyway, it's been a hot mess.
Right.
And just being able to fully rely on him, because I didn't have that support before. I didn't even know what that support looked like.
Right.
So it gave me an appreciation just about the man that I married, and just seeing him in a different light. So I wouldn't say, I mean, of course it changes, you grow, like as you grow, you know, and you go through a new month and you see new things happening to your body, you know, of course, like, things just change. Like, you know, I am super affectionate, and I need attention all the time. Why aren't you looking at me? I know you're looking at the TV and we're watching a movie together, but also use this eye and then look at me with the other one. We're sitting on the couch next to each other. Why aren't you touching me? So I need attention all the time. Like, I don't care, like, go out, hang out with your boys, do your thing. But when we're here, hi. Yeah, hello. And but he's had to learn to be that way. Right. Because you know, he never had someone that needed that from him. Yep. And now I see that, like, and that in him has changed. He is always rubbing the belly, touching me, asking if I need something. Aww. He's very, very, very attentive. And not that he wasn't before, but it almost like sped up the process of him seeing that I need something and me not having to ask, or him not having to even ask if I need something, just expecting it and going for it and doing it. So it's given me just another outlook on him that I didn't have before.
Wow. That's awesome.
So just be kind to yourself.
And give yourself grace.
Yes, because we're all about giving everybody else grace, and then you completely forget about yourself when it's time for you to have a little bit of grace.
Exactly. What has this whole experience with infertility and even getting pregnant taught you about yourself?
That I really needed to build my relationship with God. And I needed to understand what it was like to be broken. Because a lot of times, you go through life and you think that you are until the one thing that you want, you can't get. It's like watching those two kids, your kid like fight over the toy that's neither one of theirs.
Right.
It ain't yours. What you mad for?
Right.
But, it feels like that inner struggle. And I didn't know what that felt like. I'm all about instant gratification. And I'm very much, my mom always taught me, like, you're a woman, you can do it. You can do it on your own, and you don't have to wait for somebody to give it to you.
Right.
And it definitely taught me that I needed to wait for somebody to give it to me.
Yeah.
And it really did teach me. And I will say it was a struggle leading up to it. In the current church home that we're in right now, I still hadn't gotten pregnant before I started there.
Right.
But it took a whole lot of me removing myself from a rebellious spirit and just not focusing on it and not blaming myself. Like, I am very much for, having the confidence and, speaking kind words and just being that pro person. Like, you can do this, you've got this. And when I couldn't get pregnant, I couldn't be that person anymore. And I didn't know how to be that person anymore.
Right.
And I think that it really taught me that I didn't have to be that person.
Whew, all in my feelings right now. Okay. Well, we are wrapping it up, but do you have any last words, any affirmations, anything that you want to leave with our viewers?
I guess I'll say, like, something I always do at the beginning of my year is I don't do New Year's resolutions. I pray and I ask him to give me a word. And I kind of focus on that word every year. And he told me this, he gave me the word bold this year, which is something that I'm sure I'm not even you, but that's something that I struggle with, to be bold. I would rather not.
Right.
And being pregnant while plus size after trying to conceive for 4 years, even talking with you on, recording it is difficult. So just, work on what feels good. And for me right now, working on trying to live boldly is what feels good. Yeah. Even on the days that I don't feel like it.
And there will be plenty of days where you don't feel like it. Say word.
Listen, just do what feels good for you.
I like that. Be bold. That's going to be our word for this week, for this month, for this year. Be bold. I like that. I like that a lot. And I just want to thank you so much for stepping outside the box, for just being open and transparent and just sharing this with me, for one. And, for whoever else will watch this video, I am very thankful and grateful for our friendship that has just blossomed into this beautiful thing. And I pray that it continues to blossom throughout this. And you have been such a pillar, I think, for me, especially going through my own, I'm not going to cry, I need you to relax. Going through all of my fertility struggles. So I want to thank you personally for, being that person for me, because it's been hard, but I'm so proud of even myself this year for having a completely different mindset of, not being hard on myself and just letting God be God. And that's it. Everything else will fall into place. So I appreciate you. I love you. And I thank you for, doing this and being bold and sharing your truth.
I'm glad I can do it. I really am. I mean, there's so many women out there that fertility is lonely. Yeah. Whether you're getting pregnant, whether you're not, whether you can't,
Right.
Or whether you have 5 kids and people are questioning you on whether you have 5 kids. I mean,
right.
It is lonely, whether it's infertility or fertility. And I think that speaking about it as non-celebrities, idolized people
right.
is important, because you see a lot of celebrities doing it and it's like, well, they can afford.
Yeah.
They can afford to do IVF. Not that it makes it any better. It's still, I don't care if you can afford it or not.
Right. It's still difficult.
But just talking about it. And, I'm glad that I can be that for you, because I didn't know that I was. I'm just trying to be a good friend.
Right.
And I mean, I had no idea how insensitive some things are until I wasn't pregnant.
Right.
And then everything people say is insensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But I try really hard to be sensitive to the fact that I've been there and we want another child, and I don't know if I'll be there again.
Right. Well, I thank you and I appreciate you.